Well, I just finished Last of Us Season 2, Episode 4. Huh? Get it? 4? Because of the golf club? Forget it. Anyways, I have some thoughts on it. I think I'm kind of with most people where I did play the second game, and I just want to go ahead and say I was not the biggest fan of the second game. I thought they made a few narrative decisions that I wasn't really a big fan of. I didn't really care for Abby in the games, which to the show's credit, Kaylin Dever as Abby I think is much better. But I can't help but feeling this is kind of like a middle finger to fans because we originally, I remember back in the day, a bunch of us talking about how she would be a great Ellie if they could do the TV show or like a movie adaptation. She kind of looks like her. She's obviously a much better actor than Bella Ramsey, who, despite, trying her best, she's just not, in my mind, Ellie. And it doesn't matter how many times you have her swear, she's always going to look like a 12-year-old trying to swear to sound cool.
Allison, get the out of here. Suck my
Be up in the mountains.
So, 10 seconds in, I already can't feel
It just doesn't work, doesn't make her gritty, doesn't make her edgy, just makes her very annoying. And like I said, it comes across like a little kid trying to be edgy and cool. It just doesn't work for me. And then HBO announcing that she was diagnosed with autism while filming just kind of makes some of these scenes just a little more awkward because you can really see it and her character is not autistic. So it's just, like I said, no fault of her own, just bad casting. As for the story itself, it's just it's following the game closely, but like I was saying, I don't really care for that personally. This would have been a good opportunity to maybe change some things, maybe try and make things a little more, I don't know, move away from the game. Like I said, it didn't sell well and it wasn't well regarded by the fandom, regardless of the critical accolades. But they could have taken the opportunity to kind of pivot from it and tell its own story, which I think a lot of people would have been okay with. A lot of people are always saying, oh, you got to stick to it. Yeah, but don't stick to it if it's not something that's well received. The siege of their town was okay. I don't understand. I'm not the world's greatest tactician, but maybe don't put your guys with the flamethrowers in front of guys who are shooting in their general direction. I do agree with the guys who kind of noped out of there and just ran. Tommy's plot armor in that sequence was ridiculous. They're showing us so many examples of the infected just going nuts and leaping to try and tackle things, but they run right past him. He successfully lures the big bad guy to him. And then he gets cornered in an alley fight and he's like, oh no, how do I get out of here? Well, those boxes look pretty, it looks like you could climb those boxes, Tommy. How about a little bit of effort? And then he beats him with the flamethrower. To be honest, I'm so jaded by these things. I really expected his wife to just walk up behind it and shoot the thing and be like, you're welcome, husband, but nope, dies by flamethrower. Whatever, not my particular favorite action sequence. Then we eventually get to the, Abby killing Joel with a golf club. And I think it was handled better in the show than in the game. But like I said, I still don't really care for it. At first, I thought they were going to make it so Ellie doesn't get there in time, so she doesn't see Joel die. So she's going to have to listen to Dina talk about it. Because I never understood why when Abby's seeing Ellie on the ground screaming, I'm going to find you, I'm going to kill you all, I'm going to find you, I'm going to kill you all. Why wouldn't you just kill her? I know everyone else in the party was I don't want to kill anyone else. We're just here for vengeance on Joel. That's all we're here for. But at this point, if somebody's swearing vengeance on you, be a little Machiavellian, wipe out the lineage, So I don't understand why that still happened. It seems like a good opportunity to kind of, just have Ellie not be there. Maybe you could explore some guilt in that she wasn't there anyways, because now all of our Joel sequences are going to be flashbacks. And are they going to be any good? Probably not. It doesn't feel like, I know in the game there was a bunch of cool kind of stuff like that, but we had when they go to the museum, that was fantastic. But that was based on characters, them trying to recapture some of the characters from the first game a little bit more and how we like their interactions. There's really just not that much here to build on. And like I said, Bella Ramsey looks like she's 12, so the flashback is going to be hard to place in time. It's going to look like it could have been anywhere from that morning to sometime within the past 5 years. It's just, like I said, a failure of casting. I've been hearing some stuff online that maybe they should have cast somebody else to play an aged up Ellie. And I think that would have made sense. And with the amount of flashbacks that you were gonna have from Joel alone, just, trying to keep Pedro Pascal's name, you could have got away with it. I'll be curious to see how this does ratings wise from this point forward. I myself am kind of a little checked out on it. I mean, like, I wasn't a big fan of the game anyway. Like I said, them being so, like, adapting it so closely, especially like these big plot points, I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about it. We're looking forward to like Ellie and Dina's kind of like lesbian adventures out in Seattle, which boy, that's going to be awkward, right? Again, because of the whole Bella Ramsey autism thing. It was hard to look at the dance when she's like kind of doing like this seductive thing with Dina. I felt like a little uncomfortable. I'm not going to lie to you. I was like, ooh, this is so cringy, like so cringy. So we're going to get more angry Ellie, which, by the way, is also very cringy because, like I said, she looks like a 12-year-old trying to sound cool. So I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if some of the ratings drop off from here, but we'll have to wait and see. Anyways, those are pretty much my thoughts on it. Thanks for watching.